Welcome back to Auntie Julie's Reading Room. Oh, Onodo, thanks for joining me once more. Special welcome to those new teachers to the field. Have no doubt that you have chosen a fulfilling and rewarding path. Big up yourself. But I want to say a special welcome and big up to those international teachers who are just getting on board the American context of classroom experience. You are in for a ride. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So, you got the job. Congratulations. You have dazzled the recruiters with your expressed passion for teaching, and they are so excited to have you in their schools demonstrating those refined pedagogical competence. Start to receive emails on emails on top of emails on top of emails. You're excited but a little bit overwhelmed. But this is an indication that yes, you actually do have the job. So among all those emails, look for this special one that invites you for an orientation, 8 o'clock Monday morning sharp. Are you excited? You nervous? A little bit of both? Don't know what to expect? Yeah, I understand. I've been there. But don't worry yourself. By the time we get to the end of this video, you will be walking into that orientation on a new level of cool. I'm talking about laying in Jamaica in Montego Bay. White sand beach, very blue, clear, pretty water, right? You know how much are you swinging smoothly, barely swing, music chomping in your ears, right? You know your dark glasses, right? You have some jerk chicken and festival to your right, which is your left, right? You have some fried fish and bami to my left, which is your right. Some cool red stripe beer and your coconut water, Lord Jesus. Oh, I say you're gonna be so cool when you walk into that orientation. Your thought bubble is going to have the word cool, frosted. Everybody's gonna want to be like you. Okay? What? You don't believe me? Come on then. Come on, let's go get it. All right, so you're called to the orientation. It's Monday morning. Hold on, let me put on my glasses, because I can't see nothing. All right, so you're called to the orientation, right? You walk in and you look cool and everything, but you don't know what to expect. So let's talk about from the moment you enter the school district building. Upon you entering the office, you will be introduced to some staff. One of you have the receptionist clerk. These are the person, could be one or two persons that you can walk up to, or like if it is like my previous school district, you have to speak through a microphone to the receptionist, and based on you showing your ID, you would get in. But you're new and you don't have any ID yet, so they know to expect you and know exactly where to direct you. So you will see these persons: receptionist, secretary, and benefits people, which are attached to the HR at the district office. All right, having met them, then you have to do the paperwork. They go straight into it. You're called into a room with many other new teachers to the school district. When it comes to paperwork, it's going to be based on those same paperwork that you received in your email. Like now, right? Once you're added to the district email, though they also set you up on the district website where they communicate with employees. Like, I think the most famous one is Frontline. So those same paper documents that you get, you may be tempted to print them, but don't print them yet. Find out before if you can complete it electronically. And basically, to where they're at now, they would say, okay, fine. You have to go in and actually attach your, what do you call it? Your signature electronically. Cool? All right. Some of those papers, though, you have to sign with wet ink, meaning you have to sign them and take them into the district upon you going there for the interview. But if you are from the international waters, like myself, when I just came here, and you were sponsored by an awesome program like FACES, they normally prepare a package for you with everything that you have had uploaded in your application to them. This includes your qualification, your experience, your social, all those things, right? So you should take those packets with you. And whether you're from here in the United States or international, I would suggest that you take all your qualifications with you, because you don't know what they may ask you for. Good. Next one, yes, social security card. If you're from here and going to a new district, you don't know you have a social security card already. Even if you came up here through sponsorship, yeah, they usually have that prepared. Good. Carrier ID. If you have a driver's license, us as international, we make sure we have a passport, because that's how we will be identified. Whether you're on the J1, H1, or whatever. If you're a citizen here, bring your passport. Americans can bring their driver's license, right? Yeah, copies of transcript, your degree, your qualifications, right? And your packet from your sponsor, as we mentioned before, and they know exactly what to put in it. So look here, you can go and look through the envelope that you receive from your sponsor, but for your own sake, bring everything that you have. Like I said, everything that you have already uploaded during the application process to your sponsor, right? And expect to sign 12 to 15 documents as if you go there in person. Whereas if it was sent to you on Frontline, you don't have to do that. No, I don't know which school district does this, where you can do it electronically, as I said, and attach your signature. So in any case, those papers that they email to you, take them with you, right? And generally the same thing that is sent to you, they would probably have that in hard copy, just in case. But nonetheless, just go prepared. All right. And don't forget your tuberculosis test, which must be a negative result. All right. If you're all like me, you know, if it's even so old like me, you're supposed to be aware of the effects of, or should I say, how contagious tuberculosis is. So you will not be allowed on school compound if you do not bring the test. When you bring every God Almighty thing that they need, and you don't have your tuberculosis test with a negative result, you will not be allowed to go to work until you have that negative result. So do it early. The moment they send you the form, usually in your email or on Frontline, get it done so you can be aware of your status. Of course, if you're positive by any means, then you have to sort it out. Then do the retest, because the results, I believe, take 3 to 5 days to get back to you. So do that as soon as possible and have that ready. Now, if you have all of that, then you're good to go. If you finish the orientation early, then you have your second orientation to do. You go straight down to the school compound. And even if you have a particular date, right, that you were told to go to your school, I would suggest that after you have successfully done the orientation district and district base, visit your school, meet your principal, right? And they usually is happy to give you a walkthrough around the school so you can look at the different areas. So you'll feel a little bit more comfortable when you start to go in for those new teacher workshop. All right, the next thing we want to talk about, right, new school staff orientation. A whole heap of orientation you have to get to. So when you're here, they have a general introduction of administrative staff. You have the principal, right? You have assistant principal or principals, because they may have two. As a matter of fact, the word principal, as we say it in Jamaica, they may say principal here. So beware of that. Listen to how they say it because you don't want to look too weird. You know what I mean? Right? You have your secretary, very important person for you to get to know, the secretary. All right, and your front desk, the different front desk clerks. Again, all that kind of stuff. And of course, you will meet the general staff probably by grade or individual. They say, okay, this is a team from grade 1. You have so on and so on, grade 2, so on and so on. Or they may just ask individual person to introduce themselves and give you a little background about them. You know what I mean? All right. So continuing new staff orientation, you have the resource officer, which is a police officer, of course, and he is stationed at the school just in case you have those, situations that need to be handled by someone who is trained, that kind of thing. I've had some very good experiences with resource officers. Awesome. Always good to work with them. You have your guidance counselor, your nurse, right? Will introduce herself. She will tell you what she's there for, what she does, and what she does not do. You have your curriculum resource teacher. CRT is a teacher. She's responsible for all the curriculum resources, links, books, can give you directions as to where to locate whatever resources you need as a new teacher to get you prepared to prepare your lesson plans. You have your reading coach, your math coach, your math and reading interventionist, specialists like gifted and talented teacher, your resource teacher, your multi-language learners, MLS, or do I have it wrong here? MLLS. Multilingual teacher. Those are the ones if you are assigned in a school that it has multicultures, like students from different language background. This is the person who tries to bridge the gap between them learning and speaking English, and their language. So it kind of bridges to better able to help them to perform in everyday activities, classroom activities. All right, of course, then they will want you to introduce yourself. Make it short and spicy, like, I am Julia Livermore. I am awesome. Did I tell you I'm awesome? Hey, pay attention. I am awesome. Okay? Look, don't do that. You might want to mention your name and place of origin, your teaching experience. You don't have to mention your qualification, though if you have a specialized area, I would suggest that you mention that. Express your gratitude for being there and your, expectation. Probably something like this. Hi, I'm Julia Livermore. I am from the awesome island, Jamaica. I have 15 teaching years experience. Mostly at the lower elementary school. Specifically, I've taught 4th grade for over 5 years, and it was a wonderful experience. I am so happy to be here, and I am open-minded and ready to learn whatever strategies I can to make me better able to cater to my students in this new environment. That kind of thing. Pleasure to meet you. Looking forward to working with you. Some of them will be smiling like, oh, she's so cute. Wait till next term. Let's see if she's so sweet. Introducing yourself. Let them know how many different languages you speak. Speak Mandarin, right? French, right? Spanish, yeah? And we chat enough patois. Yeah, man. Wagwan, Jamaica I come from. Yeah? Yeah. All right. You must prepare yourself to walk away with the information that's going to get you comfortable in the environment, knowing where to find what, right? So you need all the information on the procedures and logistics. So first thing, arrival procedure. What time do I arrive? How do I account for my arrival or presence? Good? Let me get my pointer here. Give me a second. Okay, yeah. Excuse me. What time must I be in my classroom to receive my students? Do I have morning duty? Because, order is important, especially at the lower elementary school. You need order. Children get lost, they don't know where to go, especially within the first 2 weeks of school. So you have to know if you will be supervising. If you are at a place where they have the manpower, then you are new, so they would just have you observe for a week or two before putting you on duty. But nonetheless, you want to be aware that at some point you will be placed on duty. You want to know where the duty is, for how long, what do I do on this duty? Do I line students up and take them to a particular place, or when they come in, do they sit down? That kind of thing, What time do students arrive? Some may arrive, and where do they go? Where do they go? Do they go to the cafeteria? Where do they go if they don't go to the cafeteria? That kind of a thing. So you want to know that. Lunch schedule and procedures, like what time does my grade go to the lunch? Because especially if it's a big school, everybody doesn't go to lunch at the same time, right? What are the procedures to get there? Because you have schools in the blocks, you have kindergarten block, you have grade 1, second grade, third grade, that kind of thing. You may have different routes that the different grade levels take to get to the cafeteria. So you want to know where those are. All right, is there a special section for my grade or class to sit during lunchtime? How long is lunchtime? So you don't have them sitting there for half an hour while you should be in class. So you need to be aware of that. Okay, do I eat with my students? Or do I stay with my class during this lunch break, or will they be otherwise supervised? Now they have this thing where teachers must get 30 minutes of unencumbered time. This is the time you get to relax, right? I mean, you can use it to check up on family or loved ones, or relax a little bit, rest your head, I don't know, but don't fall asleep though, because you might go into school hours. But just take your mind completely off of teaching. Just relax. Find out, do I pick up my students from lunch, or will my students be dropped off? If they're supervised at lunch and they give you that time, and if you know the time that they give you is within that 30 minutes, then definitely you have to pick them up. But you have to know what your part is during that time. Recess time. Where do my students go for recess, and how do they get there? Same thing like lunch. If it's a big school, you have the lower school, kindergarten, grades 1 to 3 and 4 to 5. If it's a big school, they may have different play areas. For the younger children, they may have like slides and sand boxes and all that kind of stuff, and the smaller ones play there. And for the bigger section, or the section for the bigger ones, they may have a basketball court, football, that kind of thing. So you have to know where are you allowed to take your students to class and how to get there, right? What areas my class or grade allowed to play? Are we allowed to take or use equipment during recess? Can I bring some rope? So my kids can play jump rope, right? Can we play some boombox, bring some little vibes, make PE, make recess nice, that kind of thing. Find out your do's and your don'ts, right? Because you don't want to go there looking like you're breaking all the rules. And you don't even start. In your first week, you're breaking all the rules. So make sure you find it. So you also need to know dismissal procedures. What time is dismissal? All right? Right? What are the phases? Okay, fine. The bell rings. Bell rings at 2:15. Good. At 2:15, then you have the announcement. Sometimes after the bell rings, my previous school, they had this system where you could just pull it up on your whiteboard and you see persons for the car rider loop. Every student has a number, and when that number pops up, you know to send up that student. Other places you send out like all bus riders at once, all car riders at once, and they could say, okay, car riders from grades 1 to 3, and so on and so forth. So you want to know the dismissal procedures. Who are riders, who are walkers, that kind of thing. Okay, how do bus riders, car riders, walkers leave the room? How do these students leave my room? Do I just send them out, or will somebody pick them up? Do I line them up? Somebody pick them up and walk them to the area where they need to be. And in the same way you have morning duty, you may have afternoon duty too. So you have to find that out as well. All right, now talking about logistics, let's take a closer look at that for your purpose. Now, we can walk away with anything else, but what is important, very important as someone new to the school, is to make sure you know where to find the following in relation to the classroom you are assigned. My classroom is right here. Good. I know my classroom is right here. I know if I go this way, the restroom is there. That kind of thing. Good. So let's look at that. So you must know where your classroom is in relation to the main office. You must know where these places are. Right now, usually the awesome secretary, hi, Mrs. Bell. I used to give her so much stress. She'd be like, oh, Mr. Livermore, not right now. I'm busy. And I'd say, can I come back later? Okay, fine, later. But they will give you like a directory of extensions that you could call specific persons of who you will need. You know, some are organized like that. So yeah, but for your own self, you must know where these places are. So you can direct yourself and later direct your students. All right, the teacher workroom, this is where they have the printer, the scanner, the stapler, whatever, right? Paper that you need to make your beautiful backdrop, whatever teacher materials that is provided for you, you can find them there. So you need to know where that is. The teacher lounge, where they have a refrigerator or a microwave. If you bring your food, you can warm your food, you can make your tea, that kind of stuff, right? So you need to know that. Teacher student restroom, you need to know where your restroom is, right? And if you're lucky, you may have an assistant where you can have your assistant stay while you search later. But just to avoid any accidents, make sure you know where it is. Also, where students' restroom are so you can later direct them. And related arts areas too, where the PE area is, where the art room, the music room, you know, different language area if you have a language immersion school where you have the multilingual teachers, the resource room for IEP, that kind of stuff. And just like the recess and the cafeteria and that kind of stuff, the library, multi-purpose room. Good. Also, I think the nurses area, because you won't have the time to be taking students to the nurse's office. So you want to sure when your students do come in and you're doing your own orientation, then you know exactly where to take them or where to direct them. So you need to know that to the guidance counselor's office, the reading or math coach's office. Like I say, further on in as this time prolongs or goes on, you will need to send students to different interventionists and so on. And of course, with the extension, that helps. So you call to make sure the teacher is there, and they said, hey, I'm sending Jane and John, so expect them, so they know how to look, you know, give them certain time to get to their room, because you will not be able to take them there. So you need to know these places again for direction. Same thing for interventionists, specialists, location of various meetings. Sometimes they have meetings in the boardroom or the multi-purpose room or wherever. Try to figure out. Eventually, you'll figure it out as you go along, but you get the general idea. All right. So it's a day. I mean, you've been to orientation at district office and you've been to orientation at your school. Boy, it's a long day. Despite the principal was so nice to buy Chick-fil-A. No, that cookie was so scrumptious. Yeah, but yeah, time now for go, right? But before you go though, these are some things that you need to check yourself, right? Let me get my pen. Let's use red. Good. So you check yourself. I know where my classroom is located. Check. Good. I know how to access my classroom, whether it's a key or a code or if you don't have access yet, make sure you find out how soon you will. So check. I know how many students are on my roster, right? Your roster is where you have your list of students, and make sure you have a copy. It's fine if they say, okay, next week Tuesday is work day, and you get it at that point. That is fine. But nothing is wrong with you making sure that you have it within your grasp if it is available at that time. So you make sure you check that before you leave. Good? Next one. I have enough furniture to accommodate students on my roster. So you find out how many students on your roster. Take a quick spin down your classroom now. The doors are usually open because that's when the custodians clean and all these things. Yeah, and make sure you get to know your custodian. Hi, Mrs. Hicks. Mwah! I miss you. Right? Beautiful lady. Make sure you know your custodians. They're going to be your best friend. Right? So you check that in relation to the number of students that you have. Good? All right then, so you've made it to day 1 of your new school district and your new school. Excited now? You should be. Well, what I want you to work with from this video is that orientation is basically to get you acclimatized to your working environment. So it's not a work day per se. So the principal or administrative staff will make sure that you leave with an understanding of your job description, right? So the do's and don'ts. So they will definitely go through the employee's handbook about dressing and your code of conduct in terms of how you relate to students and what is expected in your classroom, your students' behavior, and so on and so forth, as well as the behavior towards your awesome colleagues. So I am certain by now that you should feel a little bit more relaxed and is a little bit more prepared and looking forward to the days that are coming for your teacher workshop with your new colleagues. I do hope that you are a lot less nervous. Talk the truth. Yes, man. Again, thanks for joining me and welcome and congratulations. God bless and walk good.